what I certainly take from that is, isn't it interesting that you have somewhere like Abu Dhabi who go along, and I mean, they literally man-made an island so that it was separate from the main part of the city, of the state. And then they got you to write, amongst others in the team, a complete new set of laws. And what are the laws that they actually go for? They go for standard British common law without a European Union twist, as I understand it. And in a way, we're now trying to get ourselves back to the Emirati equivalence of UK law.
I led that team and effectively designed that legal system, which is basically an adoption of the English common law case law system from time to time on an evergreen basis, which I think is the most sophisticated legal system for commerce in the world. They decided that that was true. We didn't import any elements of EU law because that sort of has polluted the common law and held it back in a number of ways. And then drafted with the statutes on specialist areas like company law, insolvency law. And the first time this has been done, the IFC in Dubai had a sort of codified version of the common law, which is sort of a hybrid between the common law system and with elements of the codified continental models. Similarly, Qatar and Kazakhstan. Whereas ADGM is the first time in the world, I mean, Singapore and Hong Kong had it, but still have it. But it's the first time in the world that anyone has voluntarily taken on and received, if you like, English common law. I think I'm very pleased with it. It's doing well.
So, yes, the future of the UK legal and regulatory system, and the big thing that sort of springs to mind, first of all, is almost that big why. I mean, it all goes, the whole Brexit question, everything. I mean, I think a lot of people miss out on perhaps the why and where it came from.
I completely agree. And that's the first part of this new book on restoring UK law that I've written, because that gets easily lost. And one can debate the trade-offs and benefits of pooling sovereignty in commercial terms. But for the UK, it has meant losing something really quite intrinsic to society here. And this is not just for common law, which is applicable in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, but also Scots law shares the same features in this context, which is our system presumptively treats people as being free. That includes not just individuals, but businesses. And I think people here find it quite difficult to understand and operate, which in a way is part of, and at root of why it's been so difficult increasingly over recent years within the EU, whether one regarded it as a desirable thing to overlook that or not, which is that EU has taken on the continental way of lawmaking developed through Franco-German codes from the 19th century. And perhaps not surprisingly, those two were at the start of the whole project. And that method of lawmaking is completely alien to this presumptive freedom-based common law, Scots law approach, where instead you seek to write down rules that govern every hypothetical situation you can imagine anyone wishing to do. And you write effectively, therefore, a code governing all legal situations. And in the EU, that in financial services, that was rolled out, that blanket of law based on the continental code-based methods was rolled out starting in 1989 for the following 20 years. And we've now got EU law covering everything on the code-based model. If you're looking to do something new in financial services in the EU and in the UK until we change this regime, obviously we've tried to ameliorate it with our people and systems and methods as much as possible. But nevertheless, if you want to do something new, you have to look into in investment banking the 1.7 million provisions in MIFID-II and so on, which are beyond any one human being's ability to, in terms of carrying them in their heads and being able to manipulate and apply those rules. And what that does in turn is provide not only a lot of restriction because of the way the rules are drafted, the opacity of them, and the fact that they're subject under EU approach to a purposive method of interpretation. One thing to understand, in my view, partly in a way at root why Brexit happened, a lot of the reason is to do with the fact that the codified way of thinking, which has an answer in advance of every problem, you're not presumptively free. You try and organize the market and actually control the market. So the continental system is based on a wish to control the market rather than to let it flourish and be free. That is at the heart of an awful lot of things, because I think the reasoning in society and how societies live and exist and so on is intrinsically bound up with its legal system. In the UK, our way of thinking and approach comes reflected in and derived from our system. In the EU, it's reflected and derived from a Franco-German system that we find difficult to understand and operate with.